Hey folks, welcome to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. Now I'm going to show you a variation version of the tune Jenny Lynn by Bill Monroe. I first learned it from a Tyler Childers album called Long Violent History, and I'll just play my version for you and then kind of talk it through and show you what I added from the basic version. Okay, so in the first half of the A part, the basic version was. I think that I used the hoedown bowing originally for the basic, like slur 2, separate 2. Now for that part, I'm using a little more tricky, like polyrhythmic thing or syncopated bowing with slurring 3. I'll just talk through it. Slur 3, slur 3. And you can practice this bowing just in a little loop like so. That's the second bar of my variation version. Alright? So loop on that on your own a little bit. So now I'll go back to the first bar. I'm going to add double stops. So when we play D1, we'll add G1. That's actually a really hard double stop, I think. So you may want to just practice that, practice breaking the notes up, holding that first down. Try with throwaway bow. These might be, well, this is one of the 2 hard double stops in the tune. So now we're going to go, just drag the bow across the A, up to the A string. This is worth practicing a bunch. And once you get that, we'll add up bow on A2, but add D1 to that. Just do that on its own as well, with throwaway bow. This throwaway bow is magical. I'm adding A1. Now we're going to practice that whole bar. So that's the whole first bar. We have the second bar. Let's put them together. Loop it. You may need to loop it even more slowly. And with those double stops, use a light touch. Think no big deal. Casual. Think casual. Even slower if you can. Now I'll move on to the second half. I'm going to start D1. Let's actually start with the pickup note D2. I didn't write in any double stops for this. So we're going to start up O D1, down, and that's D low 1 to 1. I'm just going to loop this part. And here we go. So in these variation lessons, I like to point out that this is just my version. There's lots of ways you could do it, and none of them are ultimately right in an absolute sense. It's what sounds good. We're just trying to sound good when we play. So you may want to take some of the things I do and combine it with other things. If you're kind of new to variation, I recommend maybe not doing all these variations. Learn the basic and add one thing. Like maybe just add the double stop on the first bar and then do a simpler bowing later just to integrate that in. Each person has their own practice journey. Okay, so cool. Let's move on to the B part. And the main thing that is added here is the Georgia shuffle bowing with a double stop. So the basic version of the first quarter of the B part, or the first 2 bars of the B part, is. And there I'm using a hoedown bowing of slur 2, separate 2. Slur 2. It creates a hoedown effect of long, short, short, long, short, short. In the variation, I'm going to do something different. We're going to get into the Georgia shuffle, which is. All right, so I'm not adding double stops yet. Let's just look at that first quarter. The first few notes I play separate, an accent on the third note to kind of signal the Georgia shuffle. And here we go. Now loop it. I'm going to just loop that first quarter of the B part. Whatever speed works for you. Now we'll move on to the B part. Actually, no, let's stay on the A part, and I'm just going to talk about the double stop that gets added. So, assuming that you've got that down, which may take a while, but once you get that down, you can start to add the double stop. You may even want to add the double stop without the Georgia shuffle. That's actually the best practice path, I think. So once you've learned the Georgia shuffle, add just with straight separate bows. I'm adding a droning of open A here. I'm just going to do that again. Does that make sense? And now we'll just loop it to put it all together. Before doing the whole tune with doing all these variations, just do it on a small bit. So if you take that approach to it, you'll be able to get this whole variation, this whole tune, and any tune that you may do. Somebody just tried to call me. Maybe I should have answered. That would have been a fun. Hey, I'm doing a fiddle lesson right now, and thousands of people are watching you. Okay, here. Do you have anything to say? Anyway, so. Where was I? Okay, so now let's get back to our regularly scheduled fiddle lesson. We're going to do the second quarter of the A part. So the basic version was. So I am adding still the Georgia shuffle. It's very similar to the first quarter, as you can tell. But this time, still doing that double stop, the open A. And then here I added a fourth finger on A with the open E, so for a different quality of sounding double stop. Hear that? It's actually a difficult double stop. If it's out of tune, it's going to sound horrible. So you really need to be pretty strong with your fourth finger in order to do it. Again, this is just a suggestion. So if that's hard, then stick with the open A drum. I throw it in for more advanced players. You might want to try that out. And if you like, for the advanced players, if you like that, you can do that for the entire A part if you like. And so on. Okay? So, but the way I have it arranged is kind of a mixture of the two. Third quarter is roughly the same as the first. But this time it's going to have a slightly different feel because I'm going to actually play the entire second half of the B part because we tie, it'll make more sense if I play it. So the end of the third quarter is that, but that last note I'm actually connecting to the first note of the next part. I'll do that again. Hopefully that makes sense. And now I'll just do it with the double stops added. Now I'm just going to do the entire B part slowly. Alright, so there's my version of Jenny Lynn. There's lots of other fun little things you could add. Like if you get that double stop in the A part, you can slide into the beginning. You can add double stops in other places probably. Just tinker with it, come up with your own version. Anyway, thanks for watching FiddleHed. And by the way, I should have mentioned I have a basic lesson version of this that you could also check out. If this seems like too much for you, you're a beginner or something, the basic version is pretty good for most beginners. So I recommend that too. Okay, well, see you soon. So long. Go to FiddleHed.com for a progressive step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more. Thanks for watching the videography. Excellent. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.